Well, APRA is focusing on commercialization in agriculture in Africa, and livestock is a huge and growing part of agricultural systems across the continent, but also pastoralism. Livestock keeping systems are one of the main livelihoods that exist in drylands of the Horn of Africa. Horn of Africa is also home to the greatest number of livestock keepers or pastoralists globally. So it was important to look at livestock commercialization in this region, since over the last 15 years there has been really an exponential growth in the export of live animals and animal products to the Arabian Peninsula, to other areas in North Africa. And we know that a lot of the animals that are feeding this growing trade are coming from pastoral areas of the region. So it was important to better understand the dynamics that are happening within the Horn of Africa countries in relation to this growing trade. There is a regional system of trade and marketing in livestock, with flows of animals crossing the borders between Ethiopia and Kenya, as well as neighboring areas, Somalia, Somaliland, Puntland being the key countries in the region. We wanted to look at Ethiopia, first of all, because it has been one of the main suppliers of the growing export trade in animals and animal products to the Arabian Peninsula countries. But we know as well from our earlier work in the Future Agricultures Consortium that a growing number of livestock were also being provided from Kenya. So we know that Kenya has been increasingly knitted into this regional system of trade focused on the export of animals to the Arabian Peninsula. Earlier work on that has shown that whereas this is generating huge amounts of wealth, a lot of that wealth is concentrated at the very top of society in the pastoral areas that are supplying these animals. But what is missing from this much bigger picture is a greater understanding of what is happening at sort of a lower level of livestock markets, which we have anecdotal evidence are also experiencing significant change, significant growth in marketing. So what we're hoping to do with our APRA studies in Kenya and in Ethiopia is to more closely examine these dynamics in secondary markets in northern Kenya and southern Ethiopia, which are experiencing quite rapid change because of a variety of factors, including infrastructure development, greater investment by the state and global capital in these areas, largely focused on extractive resources, but we know this is having ripple effects on the local economies in these areas. So these are some of the dynamics that we'll be looking at.